It's still happy hour with John Gaskins, so go ahead, have another.
Well, it's not every day that you get to talk to just one of the best ever to do it in South Dakota in their sport. And Brooklyn Meyer at South Dakota State certainly qualifies. She's the third leading all-time scorer at SDSU. She's one of the 3 2,000-point club members in class with Macy Miller and Maya Selland. First all-time field goal percentage, 5th all-time rebounds, tied for 2nd all-time blocks, and then, of course, 2-time All-American, 3-time Summit League All-First Team, the Becky Hammond Mid-Major Player of the Year this past year, and, by the way, the Summit League Player of the Year. Could have been 3 years. Her teammate, Paige Meyer, took her out of that running her junior year, but it was actually her sophomore year. She was that and the Summit League All-Defensive Player of the Year. I could go on. All-tournament team and MVP this past year. And it's interesting to catch up now with Brooklyn and what is next in her career and her life. And I appreciate you joining Happy Hour today. Describe what the last couple of days have been like for you. You didn't get drafted, and some projected that you would. I can't imagine how nerve-wracking that was. And to this point, we're recording it Wednesday, 1:30. You haven't been picked up as a free agent on any of those teams. That's shocking to us. Tell us how you've been processing all that.
Yeah, I feel like, obviously a little disappointed that no team has reached out to me, but I feel like too, just to even be in that conversation and get to enter my name in the draft has been a really cool experience. And I just feel so honored to, be in that conversation. And these last couple of days have been a little weird. I'm still trying to, figure out what's next for me. I don't really have anything for sure, but yeah.
I thought I'd rip that Band-Aid off right away. What, to your understanding, before draft night, down to the last few days, hours, minutes, what was your understanding of what kind of chances you had?
I'd kind of heard like a few different things. I felt like I had a pretty good chance of, making a training camp or something like that. But, obviously that opportunity didn't come. And it's like I said before, it's a little disappointing, but I feel like I think everything happens for a reason. And, when one door closes, another opens.
The next question is, how strong is your desire to continue to play basketball, to find ways to play it professionally outside of the WNBA?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'm still trying to sort through some things, so I can't really give you an answer on that one.
I mean, because we all would like a glimpse into that world. How you don't know, but I guess when do you know? How will you know if there will be opportunities that will arise for, say, overseas in Europe or any other country? Mike Dahm is still at it, obviously, coming from Brookings. Is that something that might be in your wheelhouse or consideration?
Yeah, I think if in the next few months, even sometime this summer, if I, really get the urge to want to go overseas and keep playing, I think there would definitely be an opportunity for me. I would just have an agent reach out to different teams and see what options are available. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what I want to do yet. So.
All right. Well, it makes this a very interesting time to talk to you, but we are still not too far away from both an incredible season and also a chance to go out to the Lilly College All-Star Game and be around, compete, practice with some of the best in women's college basketball in Phoenix, where the Final Four was held that weekend. And you all played in front of about 5,000 people in that game. Walk me through that experience, and what sticks out to you, what you'll always remember about that.
Yeah, that weekend was super fun. I got to meet so many amazing people, and other players that I maybe wouldn't have ever met at that point. And it was just really cool to see how we all kind of went from strangers to, teammates and friends when we left that weekend. And so I thought it was a really cool experience. Got to be coached by Nancy Lieberman and some other just some all-time greats from the women's game. And so, yeah, it was an honor to be selected, and I had a lot of fun.
What was the most fun thing about it?
I would say, just like meeting all the other players and just the new relationships and getting to talk with people and hear their experiences and just learn more.
Were you on Team Lieberman?
Yep.
Okay. She's a trip. I've seen many interviews with her over the years. She's not just one of the GOATs, but one of the pioneers of the sport. And had a chance to interview her a long time ago. That was a lively conversation. How would you experience playing for her and what she was like? What kind of things that will stick out?
Yeah, she's really funny. She's very, very passionate. Some of the things she said were kind of funny, but I remember in our first team meeting in the hotel room, she was like demonstrating something, and we didn't have a ball, so we just grabbed like a plant from like the table, and she was like passing this plant around like it was just so funny, and she's just so like I said, just so passionate about everything that she does, and it was just cool to meet someone like that and just to have her coach.
It's still so fresh that your career's done. I mean, how surreal is that it's all over in a Jackrabbit uniform? How have you been processing that for the last, I guess, few weeks?
Yeah, it's been really weird. When the team starts doing workouts and lifting and all that stuff again, and it's like, I wasn't included in the group text, or which is like just what happens when you're a senior. But it's definitely been a little different. I mean, just looking back on the 4 years that I've had here, I mean, I really can't ask for much more, and I'm just so glad that I chose South Dakota State, and it's just been such a blessing in my life, and I feel like I've grown so much as a person over the years, and the friends that I've taken from it too. I mean, that's gonna stay with me for the rest of my life, so I'm just really grateful.
So, in what ways would you say you've grown as a person? What are some examples?
I think just my confidence overall. Coming out of high school and I didn't really know how things were going to go, how my teammates were going to be, if I was going to, fit in on the team, I guess. And I feel like just having the teammates that I've had and having the coaches that we've had just pour into me and believe in me and be there for me through everything. I mean, college basketball is hard. And so just all the challenges and the, personal things that I've had to overcome. I mean, it's just been really worth it.
So, forgive me for not knowing if you've described this before, coming from Larchwood, which is right across the border, obviously, from South Dakota. It's very much in the Jackrabbit world, but technically you were not an in-state recruit, even though it obviously feels like an in-state recruit. When you're growing up in Larchwood and you're becoming a really good player, West Lyon High School, you're being recruited all over the place. But even before you were being recruited, where were the Jackrabbits on your radar, just as far as fandom, what you watched?
My parents weren't really like diehard fans of any college, really. They were pretty neutral. So I feel like in Larchwood, it's like you're either diehard Iowa or diehard Iowa State. So, but they kind of stayed out of that. And I kind of I knew about SDSU and USD and all that, but I didn't really go to any games or anything like that till I was in junior high. Okay.
So you were like one of these girls that grow up in South Dakota and, just wanting to be a Jackrabbit since they were in diapers. That wasn't quite you.
No, not quite.
Did you have Iowa or Iowa State? Like, were you a fan of either of those teams?
Not really. I mean, obviously I loved watching Caitlin Clark play and, all the big runs that Iowa women's basketball went on during those years and all that stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was like, a super fan of anything.
When did colleges first start calling you, tracking you down, talking to you at AAU or events?
I think it started, in like 7th or 8th grade. I got my first offer from SDSU in 8th grade. And yeah, I mean, I just remember getting like my first letters in the mail and just being like, this is crazy. And then, you start doing visits and all that stuff. I feel like for women's basketball, recruiting starts so young. And yeah, it was just a really surreal world to be in. But, my parents helped me get through that. And yeah.
I mean, what was your kind of personality type growing up? Were you shy? Were you just fine with getting that kind of attention? Was it overwhelming? How did you take it once you became a, for lack of a better term, sought after commodity, 7th and 8th grade?
I would say that I was like more on the shy side in school. I mean, I feel like playing AAU really helped, expose me to different things, especially in the basketball world, and just having different teammates and all of that stuff kind of helped bring me out of my shell and all that. But I mean, it was just kind of weird. I didn't really like to think about it. I just kind of separated, my recruiting process and like what I was doing in school and our teams like that. So, yeah, it was it's kind of a crazy thing to put a 14-year-old through, but
You said, was SDSU the first that came calling?
Yep, they were.
Okay. And was it an assistant or was it AJ? Do you remember the very first interaction?
I don't remember the very first call, but I do remember AJ offering me on the phone, and I just like started crying. Like I was just so overwhelmed. And I was probably 13 at the time. It was just a crazy experience, but yeah, super grateful though that I got that opportunity.
How does that go? A call with AJ at age 13, as in, does he build it up for a while, or does he just call you right away and tell you what he's calling about? I don't know if you remember it, but we all know his public persona. What was it like on the phone?
Yeah, I don't really remember exactly how it went. I just I got so nervous for recruiting calls. I would have to have it on speaker and then have my parents be there because I just couldn't. I was not good at keeping conversations going. But I think he just said something like, we'd like to, I don't know, extend an offer for you to be a jackrabbit. And just the tears started flowing. I just was not expecting that. And then I just remember, and this is part of the reason why I think I chose SDSU, was because he just really wanted me to go out and explore other opportunities too. He was like, don't be closed-minded, basically. I want you to go visit other places, see what's out there, and see what you really want, because no one knows what they want when they're in 8th grade. And then, if SDSU is still fits all the criteria, they'll always be there. So, yeah.
And so how did you take that? How at that point, how many more schools came calling? What did you do to extend yourself and see what else was out there?
Yeah, I kind of kept my recruiting process to the Midwest. I kept it to the Iowa schools, South Dakota schools, Nebraska was up there on my list. I had offers from Minnesota, the North Dakota schools. I kind of just kept it in the area, Wisconsin. I just knew I didn't want to go too far from home. And I felt I don't know, it was really cool to go visit those big campuses, and we went to a few football games where it's sold out and crazy games. But yeah, I felt like it was a good experience.
So when you're talking schools you're talking about the University of Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the University of Minnesota, University of Wisconsin. They all was interest, or did they all offer you?
They all offered.
Wow. By when? By when were these offers coming in?
I think it was my sophomore into my junior years.
Iowa State, yes and yes.
Yep, and Drake too.
And Drake. So I think of all these schools, correct me if I'm wrong, probably SDSU was the closest in proximity, but what to Larchwood? But what made it SDSU for you when you had all these other big school offers?
Yeah, I just felt like the culture was just something that I really admired, and just their winning tradition. Brookings just kind of felt like home for me on all my visits, and seeing how close the team was, and seeing how, I mean, for the most part, everyone kind of stays here. Everyone finishes their degree here. And obviously, Coach AJ is a great coach. He's been here a long time. And so I feel like that just kind of made me gravitate towards SDSU. And then, I have a little brother who's a senior in high school now. He's actually going to USF to play football next year. But, just being able to go home and, watch his games. I was able to make quite a few of his games his last season of high school football. And so just being able to support him too has been really cool for me.
I'm glad to know he's still with us. That's good. That he is still your that he's still your brother. Did you have any advice for him? Did he seek advice from you with regards to his college recruiting and deciding experience?
Yeah, I feel like I helped, just with those conversations, and, text to coaches, it can be kind of intimidating, and, what do I say? How do I respond to this? That sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like we're very similar in the way that we both appreciate relationships, and a lot of players that he played with in high school are actually going to USF to play football as well. So he's got a good group of buddies that are going to be there with him too. And I think he just really enjoys, working hard and being a part of a team like that. And I'm really excited to see what he does in these next few years.
Yeah. Something to track for sure. But you get to SDSU, you're playing as a freshman, you play in all 35 games. I'm interested. That was as a true freshman. You didn't redshirt, did you?
No, I didn't redshirt.
Yeah, I mean, so you got thrown right into the fire. How ready did you feel like you were? You did fine, 5.5 points, 3.5 rebounds a game. You shot 50% right away. But just in your own mind and experience, how difficult or not was it to adjust?
Yeah, I felt like it was a big adjustment just from, in high school, and every player can relate to this, you are the star player, and you kind of have to carry a lot in terms of just, production and creating things for your teammates as well and all that stuff. And so I felt like that was definitely an adjustment for me. Just, what is my role on the team and how can I help? And obviously college is a lot faster. The girls are bigger and stronger and all of that. And so that was an adjustment. And I just felt like that was a good year to, just get exposed to all of that stuff and get to witness, Maya and Peyton and Drew and all of them just flourish in their senior years. And just getting to be a part of that was really cool for me.
What kinds of things, and I'm sure you've been asked this a zillion times, but hopefully not for a while, so maybe people forgot the answer. What kinds of things did Maya teach you, show you, and what kind of a help was she?
Yeah, I'm so lucky that I got to play with Maya. And I remember coming on a recruiting visit in 7th or 8th grade and watching her and Macy play together, and just being like, oh my goodness, like they're so cool. And so just to get to then play a year with her, and then now, we talk all the time still, and it's just been a really cool experience. And she's definitely helped me get through, all the highs and lows of college basketball. She's been such a good hype woman. She's been such a good teammate to me now, even though we're not teammates.
Right.
But yeah, I think I just learned so much from her as a leader, and just someone to, remind you that like, you're not just a basketball player, and that you need to remind your teammates of that too. And that it's all about the experience, and you just have to, take advantage of it.
But man, from that freshman year to that sophomore year, you go from 5.5 points a game, you're playing, to bang, Summit League Player of the Year as a sophomore. So what accounts for that kind of growth, that kind of improvement in 1 year's time? How did it happen?
I think I had a lot of just maturity from my freshman to my sophomore year, whether that's like physically, like conditioning wise, skill wise. I felt like the game kind of just slowed down for me. And then, we had a lot of injuries and adversity happen my sophomore year. So
Right.
I felt like it was also partially just like preparation meeting opportunity. I mean, I knew that I was going to have a bigger role and I didn't want to let my teammates down. And I just felt like it just kind of happened. And we were all kind of just, fighting the fire together and trying to, still have a great year.
Well, almost every season, AJ's going to schedule 2, 3, maybe 4 games against Power 4 conference teams where you're going to get a chance to go up against at least some of the biggest, if not the best. What was there something? Was there a particular game? Maybe it was against a P4 team, maybe another team. Was there any? Did you feel like any aha or breakthrough moment for you that year?
My sophomore year, you're talking about? I would say like when we went to South Carolina my sophomore year in the non-con, I felt like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I played better in those games because it was just like, well, we have nothing to lose, and this girl's 6'7", so I don't know. I can like try stuff. I don't know, but I felt like that game was I don't know, just really good for me and for my confidence, and just I feel like that just kind of carried into the rest of my career of just like, yeah, you just like don't back down from anything, I guess.
Who was it? Forgive me that you went up against in that game. Do you remember her name? Do you remember what it was like to battle down there?
That was the year they had Camila Cardoso and Ashlyn, I think her name's Ashlyn Watkins, when she was healthy, Chloe Kitts. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I could guard Camila Cardoso very well, but I mean, she's really tall, but yeah, that's kind of who was on the team.
Well, that's where I was going next. You mentioned 6'7", and you've had a few more of those opportunities through the years against teams like maybe Duke or Texas, Washington, and most recently UConn. When they're a little bit taller than you, and you mentioned obviously it's just hard to guard somebody who's a few inches taller, but that's your assignment. What does it take? What space do you go to mentally? Or what kind of techniques are there to make sure you hold your ground, because you held your own every time you faced one of those types of players?
Yeah, I think kind of just, this is my job, and, my team needs me to do this. And once again, like when you play those schools and you play those players, I mean, I just felt like I had nothing to lose. And so just using my strengths to my ability, usually I was quicker than them, and, just, trying to box them out and trying to get them out of the paint. And I felt like sometimes maybe they weren't expecting me to fight back, but I just felt like I had nothing to lose.
When you did fight back and you were able to gain some ground, could you sense, and if you could, how much fun was it that they were like, oh, okay, the South Dakota girl came to play. She's got game. Could you sense that in body language at all sometimes in those battles?
Maybe sometimes. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously fun to play well against good teams. I mean, yeah, it's not fun to like lose by a lot, which usually happen, but it's fun to play well. Okay.
The chemistry between you and Paige Meyer obviously was off the charts. Her last couple of years, and your junior year was a stealth connection. It could have flipped the coin between you or her for Summit League Player of the Year. How did that develop? Can you take us inside the ropes a little bit on just how that came about, how that developed over the years into what was just a sensational final year with her last year?
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year, my whole career, but especially my freshman year, I was just like, I had so much admiration for Paige and just how hard she worked. And she went through a lot, like injury wise and stress fracture wise, all that stuff. And she never complained, and she always showed up for everyone. And I feel like part of my development throughout my career was just her believing in me and setting me up. I mean, she was just so selfless, and she makes a great pass to me and I miss the layup. She's like, oh, that's my bad. Like my pass was bad. Like she's just so, I don't know. We make fun of her for it now, but so humble, and she just was willing to do whatever it took for the team to win. And yeah, like I said, I just admired her so much for how competitive she was. I mean, in practice she would be flying around, she'd hit the wall going after a loose ball. I'd be like, Paige, can you like not hurt yourself? But I mean, that's just how she played all the time. And yeah, I mean, it's easy to play with someone like that. I mean, you want to play for her, and obviously last year we want her to have a great senior year, and she obviously did. And yeah.
Was there ever any point where she said, my bad, when you knew it was your bad? And would you be like, come on, Paige, come on?
Yeah, there definitely were times. Or she would get like an and one layup and be a crazy finish. And then we'd get into our like little huddle at the free throw line, and she'd be like, I'm sorry, like you were open. I'd be like, no, like you had to throw. That was so cool. Like, stop being so, yeah, she's just funny.
Who were like, maybe it's you, I don't know. Who were some of the funnier personalities you got to play with during your time there? And not just on the court, but on the road. I mean, that's where a lot of the fun happens, right?
Mesa Byam for sure. That girl is so funny. And she just, yeah, she's so funny. She's so type B, and like, yeah, biggest hype woman. She's so fun to be around. And then like this year, I feel like just getting to know, I mean, obviously Maggie, who's a transfer this year, and our freshmen and all that stuff, like getting to meet some new faces. And I felt like my senior year has definitely been one of the more fun years, I feel like, as a team. So
and that just has a lot to do with the personalities that came along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any particular laugh out loud stories from the road, or a team meeting, or anything like that?
Well, okay. I don't know if you know what this game is called, but we play Among Us on our phones a lot, or we did, like on the bus.
I don't know. Let me consult our resident 20-something. Cordell, are you familiar with this? He sure is. Okay, but I have no idea what it is, and I'm guessing a lot of people listening to this don't either. So go ahead, explain and walk us through the story.
It's like it's just like on your phone, everyone downloads it, and then you all get connected to the same server, and like it's like the goal of it. So like you're either like an imposter, where like you're trying to like get everybody else out and no one knows who you are. So we're like on the bus, like, I don't know, like accusing people of like, oh, like you killed so-and-so, or I don't know. It's just, we really got into like some heated things on the bus, but anyway, it made us close. But one time it's one of our teammates' birthdays, and she was like, we should all just get like sweatshirts in our Among Us like player colors. So, and this is like at breakfast, I think it was like at NDSU. And we're like, it's like right before we're about to watch film. So we're all like on our phones, like trying to find the right color, like for our sweatshirts. And like AJ walks in and he's like, are you guys really shopping right now? Like he was probably so concerned that we weren't like locked in on the game or whatever. But I don't know. That was just like a funny thing throughout the year that we just like played, and yeah.
Okay. Where can your mind race to when I ask you what are some of the funniest AJ moments that you may have had in your career? Could be anything. Huddle, big moment in a game, anywhere on the road, out of the court. It doesn't matter. Whatever comes to your mind first.
Probably one time when he was talking about the guards like driving from the corner, like driving baseline, like just ripping and going. And he was like, you guys just need to grab the ball, rip it past them, laugh at them as you're driving by, and then make the layup. And he was like demonstrating this and like laughing at them as you're driving by. That was just like the funniest recent thing that happened.
Did he ever get in there? Like, is he a guy that will dribble and pass and shoot? Like, does he have skills, or does he just kind of stand over there and tell you what to do?
I mean, well, we did have 3 coaches that were pregnant this year, so he definitely hopped into more drills than he has in the past. He would like play defense, and yeah, it was kind of funny to see sometimes. But
what's something that a lot of us may not know, may not expect, might be surprised about him that don't get to see him every day?
I don't think this is a surprise, but I feel like he just like really values time with his family too. I mean, being a college coach, it's really hard to balance that, and a lot of our assistant coaches have to make sacrifices too for that stuff. And so I feel like he just, really values time with his kids and going to all their events and their games and stuff. And so I think that's a really good example for the rest of us, and it's just really cool to see.
Yeah, he's mentioned that. He's got a lot of kids in a lot of youth sports, and he'll do whatever. He'll run the score clock, whatever he needs to do, just like every parent. And then, you mentioned I think it was her sophomore year was the year. It was either your freshman or sophomore that had just a rampant injuries across the team. I think that was maybe 2 years ago. I think that was her sophomore year, but yeah. Okay. And, a lot of people's like, wow, what a job he did with only 7 players, basically. This year also in a different way, you lose early in the conference slate, you lose to North Dakota State and then at USD. And it wasn't a great look, but man, by the end of the season, you're beating both of them in the rematches. And then again in round 3s in the Summit League tournament. Can you take us back to how you, specifically with your game, but also with AJ, just how things just went from here to here that last month?
Yeah, I feel like part of what makes him such a good coach is he just knows how to get the best out of us. And he understands that looks like something different every year. I felt like, not making excuses, but I felt like this year we just had, a lot of new players that hadn't been in those games before and hadn't experienced that. And so I feel like after those games, I felt like everyone just kind of took more ownership of, themselves and what they bring to the table. And I feel like we just stayed connected and stayed together. And obviously AJ made some adjustments and put us in the right positions. But I feel like, we just I think it made us closer. And if we hadn't lost those 2 games in January, I don't know if we would have finished the year out as well as we did.
Hey, I mean, look, you were pretty dominant no matter what during the wins and the losses. But there's a feeling that, you took your game to an even higher level that we hadn't seen. Would you agree with that? And if so, how? That last month of the season?
Yeah, I feel like not even just myself, but all of the seniors. I mean, I think it just came to a point of, we only have so many more days left as Jackrabbits, and we just wanted to make the most of it. And personally, I felt like I didn't need to prove anything to anybody else other than myself and, to our team. And I just needed to show up for them. And I just wanted to, leave SDSU basketball knowing that I'd given it everything that I had. And I think it was just really freeing to just have that mindset and to just go all out.
Yeah, and you did. And you addressed this in the way I think a lot of people thought you would address the battle with Avery Coonan. I mean, she wins the Player of the Year award. Her team wins the regular season title, and you got a chance, obviously, in a rematch in Fargo that went well for their only conference loss, and then again in the championship game. And you mentioned in that championship game, hey, they're double teaming me, we're double teaming her. It's not all one-on-one. However, I mean, you're a competitor. How much, not only to win that game in front of the fans, but also that battle with her in the championship game. How bright was the fire burning for you?
I mean, I have a lot of respect for Avery. I think she's a great player. I have a lot of respect for what she's done for her program and, in her career. I just, like I said, I just feel like I reached a mentality of like, I'm not proving myself to anyone. And I feel like, that's something that I had to learn in my career was that, there's going to be a lot of outside noise and other people are going to tell you, what they think of you or what they don't think of you. And I honestly didn't care. And I would rather have, a ticket to March Madness than any other thing this season. And so I feel like just also having the support of my teammates and being as close as we were, I just felt like, I don't know, it just makes it really fun when you guys all have the same goals.
Yeah. I've heard others just describe just, how you make it and made it look so easy. You had a really high field goal shooting percentage. A lot of your buckets were right there inside, near the basket, where you made it look easy. But in your own words, describe just how difficult it sometimes might be to make it look that easy. What do you have to do as a player? What kind of moves, everything?
I think it takes a lot of, I've put in a lot of work over my 4 years here. And I think it's just a mindset of like, you miss a shot, like you have to bounce back. The next one's going to go in. And just knowing that every game is going to be a dogfight and it's going to be really physical, especially in the paint. And so just embracing that and knowing that it's not going to go away and that, my team still needs me. And so I'm just going to try to do the best I can.
All right. I want to ask you about your major, about nutrition and, what's the official word for it? Sorry.
Nutrition and dietetics.
Dietetics. Thank you. I'd rather have you say that word than me. Was that your original major?
No, I was exercise science right away.
But a lot of college kids change their mind, and you're not going into a completely different realm here. It's all under the umbrella of health and fitness. But kind of what got you more into the nutrition and dietetics side?
Yeah, so like I kind of mentioned earlier, between my freshman and sophomore years, I felt like I just matured a lot. And like part of that was, taking care of myself and fueling my body for, setting myself up to be the best that I could be. And, with that, I think I kind of became really fixated on nutrition and all the stuff that goes into that. And so I feel like that just kind of opened a new door for me. And I thought, I want to be able to help other athletes with their nutrition and all the things that go along with that. And so that's kind of how it started. Yeah.
How passionate, if not obsessive, did you start to get with that kind of stuff?
I feel like it was a healthy amount. Like, it wasn't, too much. I wouldn't say I was too obsessed with that, but, after seeing how much it helped me and helped me elevate my game, I felt like I really just wanted to, like I said, just be able to help out other people and help them experience the same things that I did.
Do you have some tips for us? Even those of us who, it's kind of your major, so there's books upon volumes of, but like what kinds of things helped in that realm? Just general concepts that allowed your body to improve and therefore your game to improve from year one to year two.
I think just like the timing of, making sure that I was eating enough. I mean, college basketball is really demanding, and just like making sure that, I was having a snack at halftime, or that I was making sure I was hydrated, a lot of things that I didn't really know about in high school or before then. And so just being more careful about like what I was having instead of just, making sure I was eating something.
Okay. Are you like super into the, hey, only natural foods, whole foods, no processed foods, type of thing? Or are you still, you're a college kid, you're an athlete, so you can burn it pretty easily at your age, or is that how into it you are?
I think I don't want to like bash processed food. I think like everything has its time and place, and, everything in moderation. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like my roommates and I, Maddie and Ellie, are also very similar in this way. We joke that we have like an ingredient house. And so like you open our pantry and there's just like no ready to eat food. Like it's all stuff you have to like make something for. But I mean, I just feel like we all kind of have that mindset, and we all have seen how it's improved how we feel and all that stuff. So, but I wouldn't say I'm like totally against it. I think everything has a time and place.
But you're fairly into pretty healthy eating, it sounds like. That's fairly important. And that has to be really helpful to have to live with two people who are also in that mindset. So there's not a lot of tempting things laying around, for any of you. And those are, what was it like otherwise to live with those two? One of them is a fellow senior, who had such a huge Summit League championship game. How would you describe living with them and how that helped your basketball together?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been so fun to get to finish out our careers together. Yeah, I mean, we've just gotten so close over the years and have been with each other through all the ups and downs. And, being seniors this year just, I think, bonded us in a special way because, we did lose, those two games in January. And I feel like it just made us closer as well. And, how are we going to, how is our mindset going to be good and improved? And how are we going to bring everybody else along with us? And so, it's just been so fun. And I wish they were staying closer to Brookings, but, we'll still keep in touch.
I asked you a similar form of this question after the Summit League championship game, but, how strong were offers or pulls from other schools to try to whisk you away for your senior year?
Honestly, I feel like, I didn't show anybody interest, or I didn't explore anything. I didn't really test the waters at all. So I felt like for me, it was a pretty easy decision, to come back. And, when some people from our team last year did enter the portal, I remember Maddie calling me and being like, you're not going anywhere, right? Like, we need to finish what we started. And that's kind of been our mindset this whole year. But yeah, obviously people transfer for different reasons, and sometimes it's, things really aren't going well for them. And so I definitely see its purpose. But for me, I felt like that just wasn't something that I was interested in.
Okay. What is it safe to say there was a chance for you to play at the Power 4 level?
If I had looked into that opportunity, I'm sure there would have been something, but yeah.
Okay. But we're all kind of curious, how does that work? Does someone that gets contacted and says that Brooklyn's not interested, or do you get contacted, or how were you able to, since you kind of had your mind made up, how do you keep all that away at bay?
A lot of that happens through AAU coaches or high school coaches. And, they all knew that I wanted to stay here. And so it really wasn't even entertained, really.
Okay. And had a chance to ask, it was, I think it was Bergen Riley at Nebraska, but I'll ask you, I had a chance to talk with Justin Sell and try to ask a lot of questions a lot of fans want to know about a month ago. One of them is NIL and how it works, and every athlete is different. He said at SDSU, he's not going to get into numbers and dollar figures, but that it's purposeful, it's meaningful. What kinds of things? What was part of your package this season when it comes to whatever you did in that realm?
Yeah, I think SDSU, especially women's basketball, has come a long way since my freshman year in that regard. I feel like last spring we kind of made a lot more of a push for it. And, this year the girls are getting taken care of a lot more than, most of the players that have come through here. And I just personally for my thing, I have some deals that maybe they aren't monetary, but, I have the one with Be Well, that's the recovery spa and things that, really help me out as an athlete, but there's no money exchange. And I think those can be just as valuable as, as just a check or something like that.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how it continues to grow. And I hope that, future players, continue to get to benefit more and more.
Sure. That has to be a really nice, so you could go, is Be Well in Brookings?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you a spokesman?
Not really.
Okay.
I do there's social media posts and stuff like that, and my contract and stuff like that. But but yeah, it's nice to have relationships with people like that too in town. And yeah,
it's nice to have a spa you can go to anytime
yeah.
you like. Gosh, that would be wonderful. Look, I started with the questions on everybody's minds about your future, and I guess I'll take a swing at, if not basketball, what do you figure, might be your life's work, or at least to start out your post-college career?
I mean, I can't give away too much, but I feel like, next year I'll definitely have a place at SDSU, because I have one more year left of school. And then after that, I want to, finish my degree and hopefully become a sports dietitian someday and see how that goes.
Are you all out of eligibility though?
Yeah, for basketball.
Okay. I had to ask that question after you mentioned you have another year of school left. Is it easy, hard, or somewhere in between, knowing like basketball's over? You're still, have you graduated, like have you undergrad graduated yet? Like, were you? No. Is that happening in May?
So since I joined the nutrition program a year late, it's a 5-year program.
Okay.
So I'll graduate. I'm taking like grad classes and undergrad next year. I'll graduate with my bachelor's next May and my master's the May after that.
Okay. And I'm sure you'd love to hang around the basketball program a little bit if you could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're kind of through some stuff right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that says a lot about the school, about the program. So it was really nice getting to meet you, getting to know you a little bit, and like what's next for the rest of the day? Like, what do you got after this? All downhill from here. Huh?
I have an exam at 4. So.
Oh, okay. What class?
Life cycle nutrition.
Okay, you ready? Think you're going to nail it?
I think so. I hope so.
Okay. Well, if you have to cram, I'll give you a little time to cram. Thanks for joining me today and putting up with me, Brooklyn. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, stay right there. Brooklyn Meyer, one of SDSU's best. For video producer Cordell Wright, I'm John. Happy hour and cheers.